First on the agenda is public comment, of which I have several signed up. They said nobody would care to speak, but you're welcome to go to the chair. Before we continue on.
Have an email that sent in that they requested to be put in public comment. I think that might be what she has.
I'll read it off. It's from John Prescott. He said, I just wanted to say that I'm very happy with the way things are going for golf in Wichita. I have only been a resident for 4 years, but the improvements that have occurred have been great. I fully realize that it would have been easier for the city to contract out the services, but I feel that we would not have gotten the attention to the courses the way we have by making them a city responsibility. As stated, the improvements are great and hope to see the progress continue into each and every course. It is my hope that with these improvements, more people will take up the sport and learn the etiquette that goes along with making sure the course stays healthy for years to come. Thank you to the committee and all the staff for all their hard work.
All right. What would like to hear some other? No, look. She must have taken 50 over.
No good way to get here. Sorry.
You bet you're right.
So we only reading the good comments?
That was all.
We screened several.
All right. No further public comment. We will move on to announcements. Like to have an announcement. We would like to take the board at this time.
I've got a couple of things. I'd like to, we have a couple of things.
Well, Greg, I said, did you want to speak or anything before we get past public comments?
If you don't mind, I appreciate it. Sorry I'm late. I went to the wrong place.
We just shot past it, so is that now?
Thank you very much. I'm Greg Ferris. I just have a couple things. Any of you know me very well know it's probably about one thing, and that's pace of play. There are very, very few things you could do to improve pace of play. I'm over at Tex Consolidator. There are 5 groups on number 5. Marshall pulls up and I said, you know, that group up there on the green needs to speed up. There are 5 of us, 5 groups. He said, oh no, they're on schedule. Look at the scorecard, 4 hours and 40 minutes. Does not take 4 hours and 40 minutes to play any golf course in the city of Wichita. You can walk Flint Hills. My brother belonged there. They won't let you play it in 4 hours and 40 minutes. That needs to come off the scorecards. It needs to come off the website. If you want to speed up play, there's a few things you could do very simply. First, that's the first thing you do is get rid of it. You say every golf course you should play in 4 hours, which I want to tell you, you play Texas golf in 3.5. 4 of us walk it all the time. If we're not waiting 3.5 hours, we're off the golf course. If you can get golf to under 4 hours, you will increase the number of people that play. And it's not that difficult. Second thing I have a problem with, other than this whole thing, is fivesomes. Now, I'm not against fivesomes like a lot of people. When somebody checks in and wants to play a fivesome, they should be told that they must play as fast as a foursome. They can't keep up with the group ahead of them. They must let the group behind them through. That will keep them moving. I play ahead of Sonny Glenn sometimes. He's always plays 5. I can hardly stay ahead of him. That means fivesomes can play fast enough. It's not about the number. The other thing that you should do on your website and you should not have the ability to create fivesomes. Now, if I want to bring a fivesome and I can play fast enough, that would be fine. But if I put 3 people down, they may add 2 with me and make my group a fivesome. That slows me down, slows the group behind me down. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't allow that. That's a few things that you could do to speed up play. The last thing that you should do, I mean, Tex Consolidator is a very long golf course. Most people shouldn't be playing the whites. If you would post, I played with a guy at Tex Consolidator. It's about my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. I'm not sure. We played the golds there because the golds at Tex are the same as the whites here. I mean, why are you playing the whites if you're not playing the blues here? But if you would post instead, he said, well, I'm not ready to move up to the senior tees yet. Well, they're not senior tees anymore. We need to get rid of that mentality that gold is the senior tees. You need to post a sign. It wouldn't cost you much money at all. If you are a ex-handicap, you play the reds. If you're ex-handicap, you play the golds. If you're ex-handicap, you play the whites. If you're an ex-handicap, you play the blue. In fact, you shouldn't be able to play the blues and blacks here without permission from the clubhouse. I've seen guys think they're macho, they're going to play the blue tees. There's no way in the world they should be playing the blue tees. But what are you going to say to them? You know, hey, you're not good enough. But if they have to ask permission and the guy at the clubhouse says, well, what's your handicap? He goes, well, I don't know my handicap. Well, first of all, that's the first sign you probably shouldn't be playing the blues. And so those are just a very few things that you could do. Wouldn't cost you hardly any money. Next time you order scorecards, make sure there's no times on there. Tell the marshals, slow groups ought to either have to skip a hole, let a group through, be encouraged the first time to catch up with that group ahead of them. Second time, and you let those people through or you skip a hole. I mean, it's not that hard, but those poor marshals have no authority because that scorecard says 4 hours and 40 minutes. They're on schedule. Sorry to be, it's a pet peeve of mine. I know how long it takes to play golf. We walk, 4 of us walk out here, 3 hours and 50 minutes. We walk text 3 hours and 30 minutes if we're not waiting. I don't expect anybody to play as fast as I do, but nobody should play more than 4 hours. And if you would get golf to under 4 hours, you will increase play. People wouldn't feel like they couldn't play, I don't want to play 5. Well, no, I don't want to play 5 hours either. I'll ask you guys, no, I don't want to play 5 hours. It takes 5 hours to play golf. It doesn't take 5 hours to play golf if you play it right. Mike, you know this. I don't have to, I'm looking at you, but you already know all this. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you very much for letting me. I apologize that I'm late. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer anything that you have.
Question from Lord.
Thank you very much for your attention.
That gentleman that walked in, was he here for public comment?
I guess I don't know the subject.
The subject this way, whoever you want to bring to the board, this is your opportunity to say something.
I do have a comment,
Okay,
just because I'm greedy.
you have the floor.
So I've mentioned this in writing before, but I think somebody 85 and over should get a reduced rate for a couple of reasons. One is they may not play as much golf. They almost always have to run a cart, whereas younger people can walk, so they save on the cart rental. And their game usually goes to hell is including mine. So $88 a month. I know some of the guys have decided to drop it, and that means they're not going to play as much golf. So I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to drop it down like maybe $60 or $65 instead of $88. But that's just a request I have.
Okay, thank you for your input.
Did you say 85 and older?
85 and older.
85 and older.
I'm not that quite there yet, but I'm getting close.
Or should I will not say over the next. Okay, if there's any further input. Back to announcements.
Okay, I think last month I don't think we had a board meeting, so since that time, Darren Dorman is with us. He was superintendent at SIM. Went through the process. He is now transferred and he will be as of last week, took over the superintendent role here at Auburn Hills. So we're very excited. He jumped in feet first. He's between the rain trying to get a bunch of stuff done. He walked into the verification. So we're very excited to have him here. And then as of today, we made an offer to a gentleman named Jeremy Zenter for SIM, and he accepted. So we're trying to get through the HR process and have him to start on October 13th. Jeremy comes from Manhattan, Crestwood. The interview was very impressive. We had a ton of really good compliments and feedback from other industry people with recommendations for him. So, also again, very excited to get him at Sim and get him rolling over there. So, that's, as you all know, it's a very long process. So I'm glad we're at the finish line. We get everybody in place and keep moving forward. Yesterday, the first tee had their pro-am, and this whole past weekend is kind of their big fundraising weekend. They have the party on Friday night, the live auction, and then the pro-am. They were able to raise over I think it's $206,000 or $209,000 this weekend for their program. So phenomenal job by them, and of course having their facility and most of their programming at our courses, it's only a great thing. So I just want to mention the job they did. That's pretty impressive for them. And then I know Trevor had a couple of things just to kind of announcements of some things that have happened over the last couple of weeks, put some pictures together. That's not it.
Yeah, so we wanted to shout out Kat Couch. She's the McDonald's assistant superintendent. She entered the women's entered to have a chance to go to the Women's Leadership Academy this November in Lawrence, Kansas. And she was one of 40 in the entire United States to be selected. This conference, the last point there kind of says it's to improve her leadership and her turf care qualities while representing Golf Wichita. Their main goal with this is women are very underrepresented in this industry, especially on the groundskeeping side. So they want to foster some of the superstars, and she happens to be our superstar. So we wanted to congratulate her. Then we had a Ladies Appreciation Day just this last weekend. On the right, you can see some of the players and the winning team. And I'll just do this little bit of B-roll.
We had probably about 100 women join us throughout the day, 40 new to Golf Wichita that we've never had them visit us anywhere before. We had some really awesome vendors. They had swag bags upon arrival that we had Milad of the board. He donated chopsticks, and they had lots of golf related goodies in them. So they were excited about that. And then we also had some food and drinks, and lots of people met new people. It was a really good day.
I think it poured down rain the night before, so we had several say they didn't come because it was sloppy out there. It was really wet, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but still great turnout. You can see the water up in Carter, and that's hours after the rain. But a really good turnout, and the point and purpose of this is to obviously get the ladies together and hopefully introduce new ladies to the game into our programs. And I think we did it.
We definitely saw that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Were all the ladies clubs represented? Did each of them have somebody there?
Yes, yeah, it was really successful. Good for them.
And Michael and Colin, and then I did a clinic, but we did some clinics for them, free clinics. We had a free 9-hole tournament. So thank Colin for taking the time to do that. Yeah, good day. Really fun day. Hey, Mike, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. That's for you. You want to?
Sure. So last week we went to the golf game conference in Las Vegas. A part of that, there was a few different pathways. There was a owner, which I didn't go do that pathway, but then we also had operator and technology. The big focus this year, obviously, with the trends of everything going on, was it was AI-based, AI software, customer service, AI software, T-sheets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it was kind of cool to see what's out there. And especially at a time when we're shopping for a T-sheet software, it was probably the perfect opportunity to see everything they had to showcase. Apart from that, in that top left is actually an automated range picker. They were kind enough to offer a demo, so we're hoping to get them out here within, I'm not sure when we decide, over the next couple months to see if and how it operates out of Text and Solver and maybe here at Auburn Hills.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
An automated range picker.
Just out of curiosity, what's the price on something like that? Do we know?
Yeah, it's 46. I think remember we looked at so much stuff. I think it was like 46. I know there's a lot of different ones. I mean, there's a lot of different.
Lisa in my program, yeah, it's not you.
Yeah. Yeah, as he said, I mean, everything, almost every topic was AI or automated machinery, whether it be mowing machine, but it wasn't a turf conference, it wasn't about maintenance, it was about operations, but still, it was all about automated machinery. Without a doubt, that's where it's going. So we need to, I think, shift our focus even more toward that and, kind of figure out how we want to get into that world. The networking was fantastic. We met with a ton of people that are really good contacts to have, whether it be other municipalities and kind of trading information and being able to call on them questions and see how they do certain things and vice versa. And then the companies that were there it's like you said, it's perfect timing with some of the things we're going to do. I mean, we got to sit and talk to the top people at all these companies and drill them for a little while about their products and what they offer. So very productive. And the way they do the classes at this, they have breakout sessions. So they have the main sessions that everyone's attends. And then from there, every hour is a different breakout session. So you basically what fits you. So there were 5 of us, and me and Trevor weren't in the same classes. I was more on the, stuff that I deal with. He was doing marketing classes. Monica was doing operations type classes. So it was really good that we drew out a plan the week prior to going of who was going to what class. And I think it was very, very productive.
Talk about the benchmarking.
We've got it down. I've used it before. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
On your ticker, is that gonna require some reconstruction on ranges to smooth them up where they can actually work?
Well, I mean, this is just a demo. That's what it's for. We told him text, that's going to be the problem. He said we can do anything. So I'm like, well, bring it out, and show me, because we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure balls are going to be bouncing all over the place, the text, that thing, but we'll see.
Is it gonna be able to dig them out of the ground?
That's what, yeah.
A quick question on those. Did they give you the lifespan of the equipment?
Of course, it's fairly new equipment, so it's
Right.
kind of up in the air. They say we've not taken one out of the field yet, but they've only been in the field for 2 years, for this family. So I don't know. I mean, they say the batteries are about a 5-year battery. Of course, there's different variables in that, but they are very low maintenance as far as the piece of machinery. Take the battery away, it's very simple what's there. That's the same. That's true also with the mowers as well. It's almost no maintenance, and what maintenance is there? If something breaks, it's just everything is just a plug and play part pretty much. So that part I really like. It's kind of like when the lithium battery carts came out. No one knew. Like, I want them. I like the idea, but they're not field tested yet, and that's kind of where we're at in this process.
Does it use LiDAR for navigation,
This one, let's see it, I believe. Okay.
LiDAR. It's where they use, you don't have to have line of sight. You use a GPS, another point,
Yeah.
and then your picker's the third point. Those are the 3 points you need to navigate back and forth.
This one did. Like I said, we looked at so many different things, but this range picker did, the one we're talking to there. There was one that he was asking about trees, and actually Jason asked him, he's like, if you have a lot of trees, it could definitely interrupt your signal and shut down right there. So
Yeah, and also, how you have sometimes the pins are out there where the rings are supposed to be or whatever, and it makes sure it circumvents.
Yeah.
Gets around that kind of stuff.
For the purpose of the conversation with our visitors, for the last year or so, they've already got into starting with autonomous stuff. You had several more already running around horses. If you've seen them or not, I don't know. But we've taken a bit of a slow approach, waiting for obviously better equipment, more research, the price comes down. So it's a slow going process, but which is why we're always interested in new that's coming out, which Jesse ran into while he was in Vegas. So
I have a feeling that the GCSAA, which is Golf Course Superintendent Association Conference this year, it's kind of like the PGA show for the maintenance side, will be 80% autonomous and 20% gas and diesel engine. That's all that was talked about for a week. So and more courses and people that I know in the industry have made the switch, and very few have had bad things to say. There might be a little bit of a growing pain getting it set up and tweak it the way you want it, but it seems like almost everyone, once they get it set up the way they want, you just go, and you can look on your app at any time. It'll tell you what percentage, like you have different zones. Say you have different zones, zone 1, 2, 3. It'll tell you I'm going to zone 2 next. I've done 22% of zone 2. This is where I'm at. You can tell it, hey, stop, come back home. I mean, it's pretty neat. You get on your phone and you control everything from up there. So pretty good, pretty neat stuff. Anyway, this wasn't meant to be about mowers, but that was one topic.
And then this is just some more B-roll of a Beauties and Beasts tournament that was hosted last Friday here at Auburn Hills.
Beauties and Beasts is a 11th hour rescue. If you guys haven't heard of them, they rescue and take in all dogs that need help, and it was really successful. They brought out some pups too. It was really sweet. Adoptable dogs.
So we're looking at potentially partnering with them to make that like we have United Way tournament right now. We run it, and we basically donate the proceeds to that, and possibly doing something with this organization as well. When we would run it, we would have, I think, much better participation that way. We could fill it up, and everybody wins. We have a big tournament, we have good revenue, and then we also get to make a donation to a great cause. So we're discussing that potentially for next year.
Any further comments?
I have a question about that one. Did they come to us or did we go looking for them? Because they've been at Willow Bend for years.
They came to us.
They
This
did.
was their first year at a public course, and they really enjoyed it. Cheers. Nice.
No further comments?
We screwed them up.
We hold minutes. Can I get a motion? Motion approved. Approved.
Second.
Second. Been approved and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to finance and rounds update.
Okay, I'll go through the rounds first. The sun came at a bad time. We'll move this meeting later. Hopefully everyone can see. I'll kind of go over it though. So I can go to the next page. So all these numbers go through the end of August. So there's no September numbers involved here. Excuse me, year to date, we are almost dead even with last year. With all the rain that we had, pretty happy with that. Now, we also have to consider last year we closed Tex for a few weeks. So I think that offset the amount of rain days that we've had this year. But all in all, 130 rounds through the 8th month, right on track to compete and be right at where we were at last year.
How come we think Sim's down so much? It was significantly down compared to the others. Sorry.
You're okay.
Was it down again during irrigation?
Not really.
No, not so much. When did he airify? Was that in August?
No.
No.
It's the first week of September, first week of September.
September 2nd.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Man, it's tough to do 32 plus every year. That's a lot.
yeah.
True that.
I mean, it was a slow start this, January, February.
January was like,
Sure. I was just trying to-
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing to remember when we're looking through all this is we basically had nothing until the middle of March. We had January, February, and half of March were a wash. It was under ice half the time. So we were way behind starting the year and we've called up. So I feel pretty good with where we're at now
Just
considering.
curious if we knew anything there. Thank you.
Okay.
And technology.
There we go. All right, looking at August alone, we are up about 2,000 rounds compared to last year. So pretty comparable, up just a little. Cart rentals were up a pretty good amount. We're up, what is that, 80, 120, 110, 120,000. So cart revenue, we did a slot. No, the increase was in place last year for most of it. So Pretty happy with that revenue wise. Go ahead. Yeah, stop me if you have any questions at all. Food and beverage, we're up about 50,000. Again, considering we had literally almost zero food and beverage revenue for the first 3 months, we were way behind to start the year, so we caught up past that. Pretty happy, $53,000 ahead of last year.
Or they selling a Tex these days. I'm telling you.
Well, Tex was closed, so yeah.
I get it, but it's not.
Yeah. Tex is frustrating. It's the most people. And it's the smallest little kitchen. I mean, it's a closet. And trying to figure out how to do more than the basics is extremely difficult there. Yeah. Driving range, even with all the rain, the ranges have been closed a lot this year. And we're still up about $9,000. See across the board, Mac is up quite a bit, Texas is up, and then Auburn's actually down. Auburn, I don't know, was closed for 1 day last year, and it's been closed a lot this year. And then merchandise, again, not a direct revenue for us. We get 5%, but we're down just $11,000. Last year, we had the big fire sale here to push all that stuff out. So all in all, if you look, Auburn's down because of that, and Michael didn't really get started until March or so. Texas up a good amount, McDonald's up a good amount, and Sims pretty steady.
Question. I looked at the, excuse me, the rains this morning out here at Auburn, and there was quite a stream of water going towards, I assume there's a drain on the west side. I don't know for sure.
So, Darren, you know where the drain is over there?
Not even towards the houses.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where the drain is over there.
I don't know yet.
I know it's part of that, it's kind of falls in that floodplain, so it does.
Well, there's just so much water in there, it appeared like it was trying to run that way. If there is a drain, if not, where does that water go? Surely they put something in there when they built this place, out of curiosity. My question then would be, is what would be the remedy for that? Because it's closed in that normal amount, I know.
Seems like when we get rain this year, we get a lot.
Yes, we did. I actually had 2.6 in my house.
Yeah.
What do you get? Oh. Yeah.
Well, the challenge here at Auburn isn't so much a direct rainfall as it catches all that.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. When it stops raining, this keeps going up for a few hours. The front nine was.
Well, that should
You couldn't get around it today. What's up?
That wouldn't impact the range as much as it would.
Oh, I know.
I'm just curious.
We'll look into that, and see if we can look at it during. Okay. And then total revenue, in August, we had a huge month, 864. And we're at just over 5 million. Again, this is through the end of August, which is 400,000 up from last year. If you remember, we started April, $250,000 down from last year. So we've made up $650,000 essentially in the last, whatever that is, about 4 months, 5 months. Pretty happy with that. I mean, revenue is our lifeblood. We have to have it to survive. So, well, go ahead. We'll go into the project funds, for everyone here that maybe is not aware how this works. At the end of the year, our general fund, everything over $1 million is scraped into the general project fund on the left. So we have $820,000 currently sitting in that, and that's just in the project fund. And from there, we can move money into these 4 buckets. The cart fund is self-sufficient. We don't touch it. It takes care of itself with that. Every cart rental, some money goes into that, and we have the money that we sold the previous fleet. So that fund takes care of itself. We shouldn't have to touch that at all. The equipment fund, $3 from every green fee goes into this, plus we're in November 1st, we'll do the annual $55 fee. So that'll have a big increase. And this is also a couple of months behind just because it takes finance, but they're always running a month late doing the journal entries to transfer that $3 from every green fee into this. That's why the asterisk is behind it. is beside it. It's actually more than what that shows. I just, until they do that, I won't see it. The clubhouse fund, so that's any clubhouse renovations, we're 84,000. And that's after quite a few things that we've done, and then the grounds fund, which is anything on the floors, or basically outside the doors, that's right at 300,000. So, and then I know I've got extra copies of this if anybody want it, but the financial statement basically from finance each month. Right now, our general fund, not this, our general fund has $1.82 million. At this point last year, we had 1.65. So we're about 200,000. If you look at just profit, just net revenue, we are about 200,000 above where we were at last year. So we're looking at probably ending the year around, November and December aren't the biggest revenue months, so probably around $2 million, in which everything over $1 million will scrape into this. So we'll automatically restart the year with $1 million in our general fund, and everything else goes in here. So, and the reason we set this up is to give us some flexibility when we need to do projects and we need to buy equipment. We don't have to go through the 3-4 month process with city council and get on this agenda and that agenda to get it approved. We put this in place last year, did a lot of work to get this set up. So that when we need something, I mean, we're in a world where there's a lot of times you don't have 3 months. When something happens, you need to fix it now. So this helps give us that flexibility to run like a normal golf course. So, and for all of you guys here, I sent this out. If you guys have any questions, if you have a chance to look through it, anything that I can answer, glad to.
The CIP meeting for, have we made a $400,000 commitment there already?
I've talked to Mark Manning a lot and with finance to let them know that that's kind of our goal where we're leaning towards. We want to wait till the end of the year to just make sure we're where we think we're going to be, which at this point I feel very confident. But no, that's not came out. That's not been done. And there's no paperwork, but they know that that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would impact, let's just say, the
Yeah.
general fund, then would be basically, if we did that, we're looking at 400.
Plus we'll have $1 million.
Plus whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the million is a carryover, so we can't deal with that in terms of doing projects.
So at the end of the year, say January 15th, let's say we make that payment, we should have about 1.4 million because we'll lose 400,000 to make that payment at $1 million.
Of which we still retaining the million, correct?
Right, and $1 million in our general fund, right?
Because I know we still have some outstanding stuff that we're doing that we got to finance.
If we have a lot of the stuff has already been encumbered, which was already reflected here. Some of the projects that we've done.
They encumbered the tree work already at Max, and they encumbered the T work at Pawnee or at Tex.
The T work.
Yeah, we're putting in artificial teeth.
Oh, yeah.
That's still.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking T on the golf course, yeah.
In terms of well, we get into this later. New business, let's get into it.
Any questions on any?
Does the board have any questions regarding the financial report?
$114,000 in the equipment fund doesn't seem like a lot to me, considering what a piece of equipment costs. Are we in need of major equipment at this point?
Yeah, that little 5-year plan that we put together, we kind of switched it a little bit, but yeah, we have purchased some this year, so it's already reflected there. I know we're looking at a rough mower here. That's gonna be 45,000. And no, 114, a big rough mower is 120. So we couldn't even do that right now. But like I said, that's actually probably closer to about 160. And then because of the return when they move that money over, and then also the $55 annual fee, that'll put, I think it's like 90,000, roughly 90,000 what it comes out to. So that'll increase. But at any time, if we need equipment now, I can send a request. They can move money from here over.
Gotcha.
If there's something that we needed, that takes about a day. Where that used to take 2 months.
Anything?
I think that's it. Is that the last slide? Okay.
All right, moving on to continuation of our business.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of lump that together with the winter project list from new business, because it's all basically just giving updates on where we stand. So, again, stop me with questions as we go through here. The staffing plan that we had talked about, I've been doing a lot of the work to get that in place to start on January 1st. So the new rates and we can start recruitment for the new position, to make, hopefully have everybody in place and everything implemented for March 1st is kind of the target date. I'll look at it at the start of the season. So it's everybody's been supportive. That's went really well so far.
Question on that. Has finance done at any type of a revenue projection on what it's gonna cost to do that?
Yeah, we're working on that. We went back and forth. They put together a heck of a spreadsheet with all the hours of our seasonals and what the increase would be. So we're working on that since we were out last week, but we didn't really finalize that. But they have a very generic deal they put together, but we're trying to get as specific as possibly can. Yeah, I mean, if you look at our budget for personnel, we have money left, so we're not really going to go that far over budget. We will increase it a little bit. I think that's the most important thing we can do is get people.
Yeah, but I was looking at the finance there with directed personnel was at like 70%. So basically that's for the first 3 quarters of the year. So you're just about like scheduled 75 would be your average. About 5%.
But that also, they're also big time in November, December.
Right.
So
I agree.
Will this plan basically affect the entry level employees, or will it be across the board? How is it?
everyone. So right now, our starting pay is 1050. That's going to go to 1250. Yeah, and then anyone that's been, there's a tiered level plan. So once you've been here a year, you automatically get, it's a small raise from depending on the number of years. And there's also a small bonus plan, kind of did something like what Aquatics did, where they get a small bonus if they stay through November 1st, I believe, is the day that we pick, because we have so many people that leave and go to school, and suddenly we have no staff at all. So there's a small bonus structure. Hopefully we can pass, even if it's a couple people with each course, stick around. That's huge. That's huge. So we just lost all of our closers at night. So we're kind of scrambling. I need to talk to you about that. So yeah, it will affect all our staff. Okay, some some projects that we have to get done. Next week, the gutters at Sim, they're falling off the building. We tried to fix them in-house, so it's not working. So that's not a major project. It's gonna be about $3,800, I think. We're gonna get those replaced. New blinds throughout this building. We have a lot of events that these need to be replaced. And we're going with the 2-inch. You say faux wood? How you say that? FAUX. Whatever. So they measure, they're ordering those, so those will be done sometime in October. New doors. Our doors on this building, they're a nightmare. They don't shut. They don't close right. We've had 100 people try to work on them. They're done. So we've got new doors coming. Ended up not bad. It was $26,000, which still seems crazy to me, but we had quotes as high as $80,000 for doors in this
We're
building.
talking interior doors and exterior doors, all the doors.
All the outside, all the double doors.
All the doors.
Yeah, so you got 2 in the pro shop, the one over there, these 2, and this one back here.
Gotcha.
Oh, in the front door there.
That was 80,000.
No, it was 26,000 came out to.
Yeah.
We, here's how bad that work meeting we had here when Reggie was gonna come and introduce himself.
Yeah.
He left because he thought the door was locked, but it just wouldn't open. So, I mean, bad. So it's become a security issue big time. So, we've been working on that for a year, I just couldn't grasp the idea of paying $80,000 to put doors in here. So I'm happy. Hopefully that it goes well. The back room at Tech's another small project. The flooring is cracked and it's busted up. It's tiled back there. So we're gonna put new flooring back there. They roll the range balls. That's where they kind of bring the balls in for the buckets. And right now it's a pain when you got I don't know what that thing weighs, 400-pound barrel of golf balls and it gets stuck on this floor. And the floor is cracking and breaking. It's a pain. So to get that fixed. The next one's kind of tricky. When we did the clubhouse renovations, I was wanting here 2 years ago, I wanted to paint all the wood trim at Mac, but it's disgusting. It's paint's chipping all over the place. And two people come out and they say, well, that's lead paint from back then. For us to do that, you have to close. We had the suits and the whole, it's 2 days of, to get all that. And it's $1 billion. Then I found a YouTube video from 2013 of the 100th year anniversary and the building was green. How's it have lead paint if it was painted after 2013? That made no sense to me. So I had somebody come out. He looked at it and he said, that's not a problem. They can get it done. So I'm working on trying to get the quote for that. Yeah, someone just said, yeah, the 100th anniversary, there's a video. So I look it up and I'm watching the video. And I'm like, wait, rewind. Well, look, I'm like, that's not lead paint. It can't be. It's impossible. So working on that quote. I don't know exactly what that's going to cost, but that paint is horrible. If you are out here very much, you probably know the siding has just started randomly falling off the side of the building. So we got a quote. We'll have to go to RFP for this and get building services involved. But it's probably I did get a quote for 72,000, I think. I got another quote for 110,000. So it's same thing. It's crazy how much difference there are in these quotes, but we'll have to go out to RFP for that, but we're going to have to address that. I'm terrified that the wood under the siding is going to be rotted out too, because on the, what do you call it? The ledge up here up top, siding was falling down. So Michael and I get up there, we're just going to tack it back up the first nail, but in powder. I mean, the wood was just literally just rained down on it. It's just rotted to pieces. So I don't know how much of the building we're going to have to deal with that. And there's no way to know until you get in there and find out. So that one makes me a little nervous. Potentially carpet in here. We've talked about that. Just spruce it up, make it more enticing for events. And that's nothing's done in there. It's just something that we've talked about. And then the hitting mats at Tech. We're going to get that done over the winter.
Was the hold up the contract there, or I thought that was more a month ago.
We had hoped to. The first bid came back just over the threshold. We had to go to RFP. So, I mean, like by $1,000. So we've kind of figured out how to do that, but with the aerification and all that, we get through that and then start getting this done. So we got it down to 48,000 and that's going all the way across the back of the range.
You kind of half answered a question I was going to ask a bit on a project like the blinds, which is relatively minor, although I know blinds can be expensive. How does that work? At what point do you have to formally to put out an RFP and stuff?
There's a different threshold. Under $5,000, you just find it and you can get it.
Okay.
Over $5,000 to $50,000, you have to have 3 quotes. You have to submit them and you have to go with the lowest or give pretty good justification on why you're not that close. Over $50,000 fee. And that involves council and approvals and everything else. So.
Got you. Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
So with these projects, do you have even a ballpark of what you think you're going to spend here?
Oh yeah.
$1 million or something like that?
I don't know the paint yet. So take the paint out at max. So that would be right at $100,000 and then the siding and the paint. And a bit, half of that is the hitting mats at Tex.
Site. 70 to 100.
Yeah. We're gonna do it quick. You're probably looking at 200,000 if we did all this. No, we're not. The little ones we're knocking out, the $2,000-3,000 ones, we're knocking those out. But I'll have to see how that RFP comes back, and then I'll have to see the paint. I have no idea what to expect on that. No. And then carpet, again, that one's not set in stone. I think it would be a great improvement. But we haven't moved forward at all with that yet.
And the fund that we have set aside for maintenance like this didn't cover that 20,000.
It's right now it's 86,000, right? I'm trying not to move once I move it, it's there. It's done. So I'm trying to keep it in that big bucket until we know exactly what we're doing. That's one of those, I'm keeping those a little bit lower. I don't want to move it too clubhouse, and then 3 mowers break down. I'm like, crap, I need that money over here. I could move it back. It's just downtown. They're not gonna like me if I'm like, hey, never mind, move it back. We move it over here, move it over here. So
Okay.
trying to wait till we're ready to pull the trigger and go. You can get it. Okay, RFPs. We currently have 3. Well, 2 that are out, 1 that should go out this week. The new point of sale T-sheet booking system, that one, it's a long RFP. That's the one that's 80 pages. It's out right now. It closes, I think it's October 14th. Very excited to get the results back from that and bring them in for demos. And I'm putting together a team of, like a selection committee that will include someone from IT, someone from finance, someone from audit. Of course, our team, a pretty big, thorough committee. Anyone that would have any interaction with that system, I want their input. Plus, that kind of covers, just to be honest, covers me. If something they don't like, I can say, well, you were on the committee, you picked this one. So I think that's going to be a fun process, and it can only get better. We have so many issues. I could spend the next 6 hours talking about the issues we currently have. And on a side note on that, maybe shouldn't say this, but we were at a course in Nevada, and their range beverage cart pulled up. I recognized the tablet. I'm like, hey, you have the same system we do. And she went into a cussing fit about that system. And then I asked her about her inventory, and she said, we quit tracking inventory because it gets screwed up every time. Like there's no way, which makes me feel bad and good because okay, it's not just us. Bad because I can't track inventory the right way. I kind of wish it was something we were doing that I could fix, but apparently it's a big issue.
So if that closes in October, how long from then till the implementation?
They'll have to, it's basically like doing job interviews at that point. They all have to come in and do their presentation, or they can do it virtually. And then the plan, my hope is to have implementation done March 1st, before March 1st. And I talked to just about every one of the companies that would be involved. We're at the show last week and talked to them, and they think that's very possible. 4 courses, we're a big enough account, they're gonna throw some people at us and try to get it, so. And then the irrigation closes this Friday. It did a pre-bid 2 weeks ago, had 6 companies, I think, came out, and they tossed a lot of questions at us. We got them all answered, so I'm really anxious to see how that comes back. And then at Mac, we're doing the bunker project. That RFP will go out this week, hopefully, waiting on purchasing to get it all put together. That one should be pretty cut and dry. It's not really complicated. Anyone that does that work, this is going to be a fairly simple project. Not simple, but simple to understand, simple to bid on. So I guess I'll add a 4th RFP and try to get that deciding, and then we can decide when they come back if we want to move forward or not. Having 3 of these out at one time is plenty. It's somebody calls me, hey, I got a question about this RFP. I'm like, slow down. Which one are we talking about? So, but yeah, it should be good. We should be able to get all of this done before next season starts. The irrigation may bleed a little bit into the season, kind of like Sam, but it shouldn't be as long. I did put a hard completion date of June 1st in the RFP. So whoever gets it has to agree that they will be completely done by then. Most of them said if we don't get weather like we got last year, they can move way sooner than that. So, okay.
Making sure we understand the knowledge irrigation. Now, this is part of the CIP that we struggled with for several years that we didn't get. And when they put the irrigation in, we'll only still be obligated for $400,000 a year for the next 9 more
It's not
years.
even 400,000 a year. It's on a tiered deal as they go.
Right.
First this year, or in 26, we're only obligated for I think 162,000. I think all agree that we want to get ahead of that.
But like I'm saying, if we put 400,000 in, it all goes to towards the end of the bucket.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
Is the RP for the sand trap, that gonna be part of the irrigation, or if it's the same company that's bidding on that, or how's that?
So we have to bid them separately. I hope it's the same company. That would be very clean. And all the companies that do irrigation are certified with Better Billy Bunker, which is the drainage system that we're going to use. You have to be certified to install it. So I'm hoping, when we put out the RFP, I can't really say, hey, do it right. You could also get this, you know, I mean, I have to bid them totally separate. Virtue is very strict on that, but if it works out where one company gets both, it would be great. Cause then they're not competing with each other like, hey, this is more, what I'm doing is more important than what you're doing. You know, you don't want to run into that. And I'm sure if it don't work out, I'm sure it'll be fine, but it would just be very clean if we could get the same company.
Is there any, economies of scale, try to help do both at the same time since our equipment or people are here at the same time?
If we get the same company, though, but I have to bid them like they're two totally separate products. Yeah,
You can't package them together as one quote.
because the reason they told me is that there could be vendors that would want one and not the other. But so,
Which would cause us problems.
yeah, but you never know how it's gonna go, but practically I would think one company would be able to bid very aggressively, don't
Are they bids or they require fees?
What's that?
Is it a bid or is it a request for proposal?
The irrigation is proposal, the bunker is a bid. So if we, I would think they know they're already gonna be staged, have their equipment here, they would bid pretty aggressive to try to get up. Just make them a lot more money on the same side.
It did happen in the last month, they did McDonald. Two separate companies.
They cut each other up.
Quick question, golfers talk all the time. And at McDonald's, of course, we all know how bad the bunkers are. What is the discussion? You talk about renovation, you're gonna take some out, you're gonna make
Yeah.
some smaller.
There's 69 total bunkers right now. That's number is gonna go down to 32, I believe. Now, that's a little bit, right now, we'll have two bunkers that are right beside each other. That may turn into one bunker. So it's not like we're eliminating that many. A lot of them will go from 2 to 1. Of course, the drainage is, every bunker is gonna get complete new drainage. The drainage in those bunkers right now, if you dig it up, it's crushed underneath. There is no drainage. So, a lot of them are going to be reshaped a little bit for maintenance purposes to make it a little bit easier to push a little closer to the green pace of play. If you got, like right now, I always use the example of number 18. You hit in that first bunker going into the green. A lot of people that don't play a lot, they're going to chunk it into the second bunker, and then they're terrified, so they're bladed 40 yards over the green. So you just added a lot of time, a lot of shots, and it's not fun for those folks. So, and really, the placement of that bunker is only going to affect. It's not going to affect good golfers that much. They're rarely going to miss 50 yards short and 40 yard right. So trying to be a little more strategic with the placement, to think about pace of play, think about maintenance. Drainage obviously is a huge part of it. And then kind of reshape them so the sand is, you're not going to have bare spots.
Well, I'm not advocating keeping half of them. I mean,
Okay.
It makes sense, they go out.
Right.
And you see that throughout the golf course, although Tex does a really good job there. I think.
He does. Tex does a great job. Yeah, bunkers are a maintenance nightmare.
Expensive.
They are very expensive and it never stops. It's never ends. So, man, we were at Sim. I rode around with the new guy last Saturday. The bunkers were raked when we got there that morning. We were out there for probably 2 hours and we went to number 1. It looked like a parade went through that bunker. I don't think there was 4 or 5 rakes, and I don't think one of them had been picked up. What?
There was 3 dump rakes.
3 rakes on one bunker, and
It's all the
I
time.
never seen anything like it. I spent 20 minutes in there raking that thing, and that's after an hour and a half of play.
That's why we play level buys in the bunker. We used to say animal trees, and we decided men were animals.
Oh.
Sorry.
Moving on. All right.
We'll reassess that.
But yeah, the bunkers at back are horrendous, and I think this plan will help. Now we still have to do a better job of making sure we're staying on top of it. When you try to drain water and then it rains a week later, you're right. It's just, you're chasing your tail nonstop. So, I'm excited to get that project done along with the irrigation.
Okay, anybody got any other things? I got some questions. I know that the city completed their budget. Now, of course, we're gonna send hard. And probably quite, yes. And, the water seems to have been bypassed because we got a lot of rains and they made some rules and regulations regarding when you get water and when you can't. Although I know that the, city gives us, rights to go ahead and water for whatever the golf course needs in McDonald Park, but it's him. We got caught up in their budget and in their projections for water, and we got set on hold on the wells over there. Did that ever come back up in the discussion of that, or is we still out of limp up there?
Yeah, well, somewhat limbo. We switched, our main well, the reverse now. So our main well is now our well. The secondary well is basically what I was told is nothing's gonna happen there. So the well belongs to the city, not to the golf division. We've been using it. Darren and I were blindsided a year and a half. Right. The day we signed for the new irrigation, literally that day, that afternoon, we got a call saying that we're probably going to lose rights to that well, and that's how we watered the golf course. So we didn't even realize that was not. It had been that way for 50-something years. So Darren and I had no idea. So we went through meetings and meetings and meetings, and it's almost like no one really knew how to handle the situation. And we've been doing this for a year, and I think now, we switched that, and the last thing I was told was they're working on a master plan, and that's going to take a long time. And don't worry about it. That's basically what I say. If something's going to change, they'll give us plenty of notice to do what we need to do on our end.
Don't worry about it, as in we can keep doing what we can do.
Keep doing what we do. Yeah. Now I would love to have something in writing, but it's weird. We're dealing with ourselves, but it's a not.
Does the city use that well for something?
No, so I asked them what changed. If there was some kind of handshake agreement for 50 years, and the guy said, well, I don't know if you know, but we're in a drought.
Seriously?
It's not the first drought in 50 years, but yeah, so we're not in a drought anymore. So I think they kind of I'm on camera and anything nice, but yeah. So we're fine. What they told us was the last time was, don't worry about it. If something's going to change, you will have ample time to make adjustments and we'll
And still, McDonald's the one that bothers me. And is that I know we've got the lakes over full now, and then we've set regulations when you can water and when you can't water. But yeah, all the council meetings you hear with trying to promote more economic development, get more people, more business, more this, more that. But all of a sudden it dried up. We're not going to get any more secondary water supply. So, I mean, unless the council goes ahead and picks that up, we're going to get caught between the rock and a hard place.
The golf courses have been exempt from all.
I know they say they were, but yeah, they won't be if they continue to expand their economic development and restrict the water use. And I know, I agree with you. They give you the exemption, but if you go ahead and run it, there's some person across the street from there that didn't get water to your yard that day. And the first thing they do is call downtown, and the natural reaction of a politician is, well, let's call out there and shut that down. So I know I shouldn't be saying that out here.
No, the option, I mean, we could expand those retention ponds, those ponds, and hold more water. My thoughts are always, when those ponds are full, you've gotten a lot of rain, obviously, you don't need the water that much. When they're dry, that's when you need the water. So it helps. It definitely helps, but I don't know, it helps the most when you need it the most. And then, of course, it gets dry. Spend $60,000 a month on water very easily, and that's doing the bare minimum. Last August, it was $62,000, and I mean, the grass was barely alive. That was just, every time you turn it on, there's thousands of dollars just flying through the air. So, Ron tries to keep up with that, but also you got to keep the course locked. So it's kind of you're walking a fine line there. And it gets, especially when you're trying to oversee and you're trying to do these things, you can't do it without water, but you flip it on, you're just watching the money go. So
That's just, I'm just always curious on that, how they might look at it. In terms of the filler irrigation systems. I know the board has already, and we got the CIP quote unquote approval for the 4 systems. We do have to go back to get the authorization for the other 2.
The fund, yeah, they approved the funding for the first 2. And talking to Mark Manning a lot, I don't think I don't see any issue getting the next 2 approved, just like they did that same process. It's very, very quick. And in that case, he thinks, now there'd have to be more discussion that there's a possibility we could do Texas and Auburn next year if we can find companies with the bandwidth to do both. He said it really wouldn't affect anything. It's kind of our
Those a long time and they, well, assuming that they do it the way that they didn't sim, they didn't. I mean, you had the eruption, but it wasn't catastrophic.
I want to meet with him. I mean, if we do that, I want to get started now, so that we can get through all the process and be done by August, so that the companies are ready to go probably late October, early November. That way we're not going into March, April. We have 2 courses that have 16, 17 holes. So,
Yeah.
So do you know the approximate price on you want it back?
Yeah, the architect, he thinks it'll come in at 2 million, or he said it might even be a little more aggressive and might be under. So, and that's what we allotted was 2 million. I think Tex will be close to that. This one is the one I'm a little bit concerned about. We've got 2.5 million for it. I've actually been tossing the idea around, talking to different people about maybe having two systems, one for the front, one for the back. We have the well back here. I'm not an irrigation person, so I've been just kind of tossing the idea around and getting people's opinion. I think that would potentially save a lot of money. We would have to have 2 systems, but it would save a lot of them going under this, that, and the other. So keep one, that one, and one that one. Again, I'm not nowhere near an irrigation specialist. No, I mean, I can't even worry about what's up.
What's your water
It's supposed to be that well, just like it is now. We pump into this pond and we run the irrigation back there.
Just put a control station out there for that and this control station
For there. And then I may get serious, have somebody come out and they tell me that's the dumbest idea in the world. But it makes sense to me. To me, the getting across is going to be a nightmare.
The crossing is a one-time shot, but I think if you can utilize that water in that quote unquote pond over there, I know it's not a pond per se, but there is a pumping system that you can lay flat in the bottom and people talk, well, it's only good for 20 million gallons. Well, that's 20 million gallons. I mean, it's in the times when you need water, it's always advantageous to be able to maximize what you got the ability to do. And I don't know if you can dig that hole a little bit deeper and actually have impound more water with the pump that sits on the bottom and feeds the system. You could put that in there and feed this system over here with it. Anyway, just options. Yeah, I'm just babbling.
Yeah, once we get this, my plan is get this RFP going, get it done, let's get it going, and then we can start really taking that project on there.
When Landscapes was over at Sim, and I talked to the crew about how difficult it is to cross the roads. And I said, with boring and equipment stuff, it's not as bad as it used to be. And they do it all the time.
So they can mow a pretty large pipe and then sleeve it.
Are the permits and I've never.
Well, that I don't.
I've never had to go across the street. I've crossed a neighborhood street. I've never done anything like that.
Right.
Pretty major road.
And that's what I asked them, is pretty major road.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, we've done, they've done it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean my views that they're the way of saying, I mean, that's something that we could look into. Anyway, to get more water. The only question I got left was ongoing problem we've had for years. The trees and max status on it. I know we have allocated some money to offset the cost of that.
Yeah, it's done. We went through the RFP. We're splitting the cost with forestry. They're so far behind. They finally just said we can't meet what you need, can't get what you need to get done. We've identified 88 trees. We went through an RFP, came back at 70,000, so we're paying 35,000 of that. It should be, man, I was going last week, should be next week, I think. They're gonna start taking care of that. So it'll be an outside contractor. They'll come in all at once, knock it out, and then we're gonna look at SIM. I know there's a lot of issues there, so that'll be the next one.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues there. It's major stuff. My question would be, obviously, we're gonna kind of monitor as it goes, but is that gonna be overseen by the forestry then or?
Yeah, the forestry and we'll work together. to make
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
We definitely need to. Some of those skeletons over there, I haven't said, I can tell you that.
Yeah, when we were driving around Sim last week with Jeremy, I was looking at all those trees. There's some dangerous things out there. Yeah, there's one that fell, what hole was that? The one that fell right there by the line, by the property line.
Yeah.
And that would have killed a lot of people if they'd been out there, so.
That one on 14, or if that had fell in,
Yeah. So,
if that had fell over onto that bicycle path, it would have been terrible.
yeah.
That's- Fortunately, it did fall onto the golf course, you know, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been doing all the questions. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up?
I have a question just to make me smarter, about aerating. I haven't played very much this year because of some injuries, but I did go out and run a tournament for the girls last week at Sam, and they were whining, they were complaining about, the greens and how they're still so lumpy. How come some years when you, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So the day we airified, that huge hailstorm came through and we had like almost bigger than golf ball size hail. It
Right.
looked like he called me and he was still there and he's like, look, this is bad. So looking at it, it looked like every green someone hit 85,000 golf balls into it. I mean, it just hit everywhere. So it's kind of good and bad because if the greens would have been perfect when that happened, they would have went from really good to terrible. Instead, they went from bad from aerification to terrible. But yeah, it did a lot of damage. It got back a little bit, but Sim was right in the path there. So definitely way worse this time than what it would have been otherwise, and way worse than most.
We just wait that out to even.
Yeah, you'll Sam and Darren can probably speak to that a little more, but
We've talked this numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
I can go, normally you go in, you've already got them, you spike them. Talkers, but we just spike them.
Gotcha.
so roll the top grass and roll them and several. It's a bad deal. It's bad. I don't know how, I don't think the building, I don't think anything got damaged. I don't understand how that's possible.
Even the truck.
It's crazy.
Okay.
And the truck, we needed that truck towed. I mean, you should have parked out on the green.
I mean, I worked out in the middle and the damn thing, didn't even break the windshield.
That kind of answers, because when I was there, they were all warming up, getting ready to go play, and I was watching them putt on the practice green. The practice green looks great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, practice greens are just smooth as silk. And then they said, yeah, well, of course, they might this at home. And I watched some of the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay,
Of course.
thank you.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. That's my question.
That quick answer. That's good.
I have one thing I just wanted to bring up to, I guess, just to kind of think about while we're going through these irrigation systems. And if hypothetically, we want to go down the path of autonomous mowers and stuff in a few years or whenever that may come around, is it possible while they're trenching for water, if you put electricity in a separate conduit, can you put it in the same track and then have electricity out at certain points on the course? I mean, all the autonomous mowers need electricity, right? Whether, I know they are coming up with some solar banks right now that are starting to get some traction. But I just thought, well, if we're doing irrigation systems anyway, while we're trenching, we're doing something there. Would it be wise to, and I don't have any idea what the cost would be as far as throwing electricity out to certain points on the golf course for charging stations.
Something we should probably ask. I mean, you have to, I don't know what the codes are as far as if they can be together.
Yeah,
or whatever, but I would think trenching, you could do that once either way. instead of having to come back and add it. So yeah, that's a good point.
I just think it's something that we are gonna look at down the line. You're gonna need electricity.
Permits again.
Well,
Marathon.
golf marathon.
I'm not sure what that is.
So golf marathon, for everyone knows, like if you're anyone 8 or under 18 can play for free. They come in and scan a barcode that we charge golf marathon $7 for each kid. And then they pay, they have private fundraising, they raise money and pay. That has more than doubled in the last year and a half. And they're nervous that their fundraising is going to fall short to pay for that, especially if it continues at the rate it's at. So we've been trying to figure out how we can do this. I don't want to have to go back and say they aren't able to pay for this. I also don't want that pressure on them. They're trying to do something good, but we got to figure this out. So we talked about coming up with a lump sum potentially on this is what it's going to cost for what golf marathon needs to pay the golf system each year, and then the kids play for free. Last year, that number was they paid $40,000, just over $40,384 was charged. It's in 24 was charged to the golf marathon account. So if you add up all the rounds, that's what it would have cost at $7 a piece. This year it's at 48. Year before that, it was at 24, I think. So that's where they're scrambling a little bit, which is great. We've got a lot of kids that are playing golf, and that's fantastic. But it's grown almost out of hand. So I've got a couple of different things I've thought about. Maybe we make that where it's only good for a certain time of the year. I don't want to keep kids from playing, but if we could come up with a rate for kids that would pay, it's pretty cheap. We could come up with a lump sum, just golf marathon, know that you need to raise X amount of money and pay that fee every year, and we'll keep the program going. I don't know. I'm opening this up for discussion. We don't have to decide right now, but I want to kind of open it up for discussion and put your thoughts and mull this over a little bit. We don't want to take a hit. I mean, that's a lot of rounds, and it's 6,800 per course, I think, this year. I think that's what I did.
You thought about changing to 16 and under instead of 18 and up.
Do that.
16 to 18.
Very to the idea that it's free. What if it was $2? Is that really gonna stop a kid from playing?
Kids that play free, their clothes more expensive than mine. They pull up in a $2,000 truck. Sorry, I look at that and I'm like, what did I do wrong?
That is a good point, is golf marathon. And I remember from working here, they got to scan that. I mean, do they have that information? I know you can't get all the information, but there's some sort of age breakdown.
Yeah, Gordon's on track all that. Yeah. That's kind of for him to get that information and also compare what he showed to what we feeling for.
That might be an easy one to bump it down.
I think 16 to 18 are going to, you see it every day. I think most of them are in that 17, 18-year-old, 16, 17-year-old category.
There's a lot that are. Don't see too many. Just to be honest, like, I really don't see a whole lot of the like 12 to 14. Usually the 15 to 18
ones that can drive themselves every day.
Yeah, so I think it's great.
You know, because they don't want to push kids away from the game, but at the same time,
Yeah, I agree with Greg. I mean, you can look at that, you could, I wouldn't go for $2, but if it was $7 for, I'd go with maybe around $7, but.
Not very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already talked about the restrictions. So we have no restrictions on it. I wanted to play it was like, I've seen part of something.
Yeah, it seems like there's several options in terms of, I'm not trying to reduce the number.
yeah.
That's why I kind of like the idea. I mean, charging something will probably have some effect on people, but it shouldn't be huge effect.
Yeah, very soon. So you just do after.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
And I really don't want to discourage it. I mean, that youngster man over one thing, 17-year-olds national PGA tournament, you got the youngsters from Chile, double dipped, won the world 10-year-olds.
It's a great
Yeah, it's free. Like, it's free. So I don't see a problem with a time restriction on it. It's not saying you can't come play in the morning. You just gotta pay for it. If you're operating something for free, you have a little leverage, right?
Thanks. Yeah. Or even a combination of the two ideas of having the slight charge and a time restriction as well.
It's just a matter of speaking with the organization for marathon.
Is it noticeable?
Deal.
Yeah, true.
Is it noticeable like that, they taking like morning times or for the
Yeah,
most part?
it's all over the place. It's like this last Saturday morning. Yes, we probably got 8 or 9.
It's not a set, I mean,
No, it's yeah, it varies, but yeah, weekend mornings we get quite a bit. Will come out. Third school, so
That should be a lot of them weekend mornings, I'm sorry. That should be out. I think they should play for free.
I agree with you.
I like the idea of a time restriction too, so you say you can play for free after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, I'll take it.
People might talk about golf marathon, then 50 to communicate with them, whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah, I told Corey, I talk to Corey every day, so I told him I was gonna bring it up tonight.
They the one to.
Yeah.
That, or is that
Yeah,
the horrible thing, or is
it's
that?
Corey from Barlow. There's a few guys that help lead that fundraising effort, but
I would think like you can do, like I said, time option, and you can charge out of season for, $7 for a kid or something, that's something on there. And restrict the year, not just the time, the portion of the year they're playing. Although, like I said, there's a lot of kids come along and play well already. We have something about like 630 or 40 kids are in the various programs this year.
oh, way more than that, 1,700.
That happened.
It's like 1,700.
That's not the number, so.
Yeah, 600 something was in Wichita Juniorville.
Okay.
Just alone, yeah.
All right, you got about 4 or 5 different programs you're on.
Right.
So,
Right. That's one.
So kind of to the point with me over here, if they're playing for free, try to steer them towards those low usage hours, right? Like on Saturday, Sunday, or Friday. No free golf until after 4 o'clock. And just as an example, right? Because tea time availability is a big complaint, yada yada yada, whatever. So why would we open it up for free golf during those peak times?
Yeah, this has been brought up a couple of times since I've been here, and that was the whole purpose of the program was, okay, but
Again, I'm not trying to discourage kids from playing, but kind of steer them towards when it benefits
right.
the whole.
Yeah. I don't know there are non-busy times, but there are lower demand times. People will settle for afternoon time, so
Fair point,
yeah.
all I can tell you is those kids can handle it 100 degrees better than this old guy.
That's exactly right. Well, they should be sleeping in on the weekend anyway.
That's right.
No. It's okay.
Anti-sleep.
Can't sleep until noon is like my biggest pet peeve in the world. Can't stay there.
Discussing ski times nowadays. I did have several people once here that bring up and address the singles and the doubles that were giving away tee times too. Not giving away, they're taking them up. So I know at one time we used to have no less than 3 on various days, whether that was all week, I don't recall. It was all the time, not, but it was, certain times of the year. Not that we need to address it tonight, but it's something we may need to look at in the future because we do need to
Well, I think
consolidate tee times.
I had an issue with Tex on Sunday, and I just went out to putt a little bit, and of course Sunday it was 10 o'clock or something, 9:30, and the signal goes off, and I saw it. We had someone else got mad. Anyway, turned into a little situation, and so I go inside to figure out what's going on. They were looked as a foursome. Some three guys didn't show up, so they repaired him, and then they got to the tee, and then they decided on the tee box. Well, I'm just going to go, and then you guys come behind. So we sent them out as a foursome, and they go. Obviously, starter would be fantastic. Every starter we get says they work one day and say, I'm just getting cussed out all day long. It's not working. That's happened 25 times this year. Now, the only other thing would be to pay starters, and that we work it probably over the weekend. But the volunteer, they won't work 2 days. But here, you guys have some that stick around like the other courses, especially Sim and Tex, especially. And you can see out the window, but
It's not every time, just getting kind of treated like,
oh, it's crap.
There's something just doesn't have to address tonight because Greg did actually have a point making is if you're taking, you got a guy that comes out there and plays, and you put him with another group and they don't want him there, because they're playing for $50 a hole or something and he's tagging along or novice that's slowing up to play. I mean, I don't know if there's ever any great answers, but
last week, this was a big topic. Or we had municipal golf, a couple of municipal golf courses or classes. And this was a big topic, and there was no answer that came out of a room full of people that deal with it every day.
Well, it's because that's a bit of a sneaky wicket, right? Because you don't want to discourage golf. And this is going for somebody who enjoys playing by themselves, right? Too.
Yeah.
But you don't want to discourage golf. Well, now you're going to tell somebody, well, sorry, you're not allowed unless you can find 3 people that you want to play with. Right? You're gonna lose the number, right?
One of the coolest things to me is have someone that moves into town by themselves, they don't know anybody, and you get them connected and now they're in. That would never happen.
Or just kind of another option is when you go online, it won't allow you to sign up as an individual. You got to sign up as a minimum of 2.
You can't do a single right.
No, it's, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right. So that means if a person's playing by themselves and you allow 5 at a time, right?
Mhm.
Person playing by themselves, that one person just took 2 of those 5 spots. And there's only one person that's going to show up. Right?
You're saying they go and book 2 tee times
Right.
for themselves.
I do it all the time. And the second person is single. So they know what it is. So they can go in and delete it.
Yeah, that's it. They put solo or single.
So that may be an option. I mean, your point is valid. I get it. If we've got your group, you don't want a 5th guy being the oddball out. I get that. We can go in. But if you allow the website for a single to sign up by themselves, that is a true reflection of what's at on
So the point,
tee time.
putting the single in is I'm just telling you, I get it, fully understand it. That goes against policy. The point of that is if you're single, you need to call and let them look at the tee sheet and say, here's a good group, here's a group. When you do the single, technically that should be a no-show against the person doing
That's what I
it.
was gonna say.
You're kind of cheating the system out there. Right? We should be watching that better. I didn't.
But again, the system doesn't allow you to sign up as an individual. So
should.
in the interest of trying to help the clubhouse out, so they know that there's not a second person, they see that it's like, well, nobody's world single or solo or whatever. They can override it when they're looking at
The
the.
problem with that, if you got a 8 o'clock, the prime tee time, you get on it, boom, put me at single, and now you have a foursome, you can't get that. Right, it shows 2 booked, and they don't see it until the day.
That's what I'm saying, is if you were allowed to sign up as a single, it would still allow a foursome to sign up on that same spot. If you're allowing 5,
But the problem with that, just like we talked about, you saw it. Then 2 and 3 go down to the tee box and they separate. And I watch it.
That's always a possibility.
I watch it every weekend.
Yeah.
About a month ago, there was 5. Let's see, how was it? A single, a double, a single, a double, and another double.
If there's endless stories, I've been on there one tee box and 5 guys roll up and they're like, what are you doing? What do you mean? It's my tee time. Well, we signed up for 5 people. No, you didn't. The clubhouses are gonna allow 6 people to go out one time. You signed up for 4 to show up with 5, you're already figured it out. So there's endless examples of that, right?
So I mean, I'm with you. I love playing by myself, love it. But I think a single should make the phone call. Right. I mean, booking online as a single, that causes a lot of problems. It should be, hey, I'm coming out. Can you put me with somebody? Typically a single, we can work in for you.
So is there a reason why? Maybe I'm missing the point, I guess, but is there a reason why the website doesn't allow an individual to sign up, still leaving 4 spots open for a person?
Yeah, I mean, you're rarely going to find that. It's because if I've got to force someone, I see a single in that spot, I'm going to look for a different time, and that spot a lot of times goes unused because just what we're talking about. Nobody wants to get paired up, but we're too busy. You just have to understand it's a public golf course. Golf is crazy. You're probably going to play with other people, right? But
I didn't mind getting paired up with people. I just mind when you make my foursome a fivesome.
right, I understand that.
I mean, I don't care if you make my threesome.
I've been very clear. I hate foursomes.
Yeah,
But
but I don't care if you make my threesome a foursome. I mean, I play with guys, we've played with lots of guys and it's great fun to learn,
Yeah.
to meet somebody. What I don't understand is, you'll go and you'll see. You can play 2 or 3, you can add, there's 2 or 3, which tells me that there's a twosome that signed up for that time. Why can't he as a single sign up for that? That doesn't make any sense. Now, I can understand if it's an open tee time, he shouldn't be able to sign up for it. But why can't he put his name in where there's a twosome already signed up?
the simple answer, the system doesn't have capability. It's either you let a single sign up or you don't. It's not, they can only sign up for half used teams. I understand what you're saying, but there's no capability in the system to be able to do that.
New system like that? I mean, I can see his point. I think I'll be able to add to a twosome or a threesome.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But no, I get to talk.
Maybe, I mean, that'll be part of the presentation. That would be fantastic and that would solve a lot of issues. But right now, we either allow them or we don't. And if we allow them, it's single. So, yeah, if whatever system we end up with has capability,
If that's the way you want to steer it, may I suggest that you put something on the website that gives that directive, that as a single, you need to call the clubhouse. Because it doesn't exist right now.
on here, on top of it.
I'm gonna tell a story. This is all cut. I don't know how Mr. Burns, he's the council for 2 years. He was there when we done Sin Park. He was instrumental in helping us really drive in Sin Park. So I was with the city at the time, so we go out to test Sin Park. And he's right, we loaded right around that sucker. This was Z. Till we get to number 10, he hits it down there, and I hit down there. Of course, I was a little longer than him, a lot longer. So we get to 10, he hits his ball up there, and that ground was a green little bit. Of course, 10's only got, so deep. And he starts complaining, how come you let him make this and that? And so I give him my ball, and I hold it out, and I said, heck, it looks good to me.
But just a question. So there was the policy of no call, no show, people getting blacklisted, right? How successful has that been? I mean, how often have you had to exercise that?
A lot, right? And we get a lot of calls. People are curious.
Yeah, I get a lot.
Well, I was with this conversation at this golf course where a guy was told that he got blocked for a month and he got upset. And he goes, it's not my fault they don't show up. You're the guy who scheduled 2 tee times for 8 people. They're your friends. You call and make sure they're going to be here, right?
Right.
But so I'm just curious relative to this conversation about singles joining foursomes or whatever, because lack of tee times. I've been up here, and this is not a reflection on any individual or course or whatever, but it's like, yeah, we're locked solid, whatever. And I go out there, and there's nobody on the tee box, and I get to the first green, look back, there's still nobody teeing off, get to this, like 3 or 4 holes before I, as an individual, catch up with the group that's already teed off, right? So somebody's filling tee times and not playing.
Sure.
So that's going to be an impact, and that, I don't know what the answer is necessarily. I'm just curious relative to.
I had a group earlier, just I had a group earlier this year, there was 6 people who played in this group, and they just take turns getting no-show. And then someone else would book while they were suspended.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. There's always a way
Oh,
around.
they figured it out. Yeah, they figured it out.
We haven't gone to it yet, but half the country had this through your post. I mean, somebody signs up for 2 times and it's $100. You post $100. If you don't show up, tough luck.
The city that's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell in the middle.
It's actually when you send a membership where you don't actually pay out of pocket when you go to golf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that way at all resort courses. You sign up to go play a resort course, you pay for it when you sign up.
And it's not unique to our 4 courses. I mean, that's one of the big complaints of Reflection Ridge. It's, you know, they've got golf memberships that don't golf, and then they got other guys that lock up tee times and don't show. So, I mean, it's not,
They do.
it's not even on the city, which.
So, yeah, no, and like I say, we just left a room full of 80 people that are in our seat, and we went in circles and circles and circles. And not, let me make sure I'm very clear. I'm not saying we need to do much better. We need to work on it and keep working until we get it better and better and better. But there's so much gray area and so much no matter what you do, there's some smart cheaters out there. They're going to figure a workaround. When you fix that, it never ends. You're going in circles, but we definitely need to do better. I'm really, I think next year, especially on the weekends, getting paid starters and see if we can keep them. It's working. That would be.
I was just getting ready to say is at some point you cross that threshold where the juice is worth the squeeze, right?
Yeah.
To pay somebody to be out there to actually police it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, overall, you're gonna have a much more fluid, smooth process and a lot happier golfers. Guys that aren't playing with 5 when that's not what they signed up for.
Right.
Or groups of 5 showing up and splitting up into 2 and 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I came here, I've never been anywhere that allowed 5 subs, period. So that was weird to me.
They tried to eliminate that about, 7 years ago?
Oh, we didn't that long ago, I don't know, you can't.
I heard it got ugly.
Oh, it did.
It got real,
Yeah, that was one of the first things I said, and I was told real quick.
Yeah, that experiment was great.
The problem was it got ugly because, no offense to the pros, and I'm sorry, most of them are my friends, but they didn't police it.
Right.
If somebody showed up with a Python, they split them into 2 and 3 instead of saying to them, you guys decide which one of you's not playing.
Right.
4 of you go on.
Right.
So when they showed up as 5, they just allowed them to go as 2 and 3. And that's when it really created the havoc. So you could you could easily get rid of license. You just, once if people knew they couldn't play 5, they would.
Mhm.
But they would show up with 5 and know that they could play 2 and 3. And by the time they got 6 holes in, they were all together and off they went. So they just have to release it in the clubhouse and say, hey, which 4 of you want to play? Because you're not playing 5.
Right.
And they would scream and they'd holler, but after about a month, they wouldn't scream and holler anymore.
Well, on the surveys that we do every month for every month, one of the main ones is quit allowing 5 something. I get that over and over and over.
Like I said, there are some
if we
5 that play fast, but you could easily police 5 sims by saying, okay, you can only play a 5 sim on weekends in the morning if you rent a cart. Well, right there, you're going to eliminate some people because not everybody wants to rent a cart. So if you require them to rent a cart, revenues are going to go up if they play 5. I mean, there are all kinds of things you could do to make it discourage the 5 sims till afternoon, which then nobody cares if they're playing 5 in summertime. So, I mean, there are things you could do that are pretty simple.
Some of the fastest 5 somethings I see out here walk.
I don't know, we do it. We play 3 hours, 55 minutes, 5 of us walking, but I'm different.
If you've ever played with 30 feet, it's a track meet.
Yeah, good. That's all. Yeah.
Golf has just gotten so popular. I mean, there's always going to be, because you see it on public and private side. I mean, it's just chaos everywhere. There's always going to be, you're going to figure out this problem, and then 3 other ones are going to pop up. It's good problems to have, but I mean, there's still problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing we gotta make sure is with all the rules and regulations and the squabbles and what have you, that we need to make sure we monitor it for the staff and can getting abused by verbal. I mean, some of it I hear is embarrassing to me. And I'm not the same, believe me, so. But,
Right. Well,
yeah.
like I said, at the end of the day, no matter what policies or procedures you come up with, if somebody's not physically out there to ensure it's being followed, right, you're always gonna have these issues.
Yeah.
Is there an issue with that requiring license plate with cars?
Aside from, we have a lot of very fast Fives that walk right now. Now you're going
I
in.
don't necessarily need to play insurance.
Part's not the difference.
That's
That's
not,
play with people in a car that cannot get around and it's anyway, Christmas, you got a problem around. That's brutal.
yeah. I used to play between, just,
There's,
it's kind of looking at.
the general mentality it's said is as soon as we get out of sight from the clubhouse, we'll do whatever we want.
That's right.
And that's true with.
And that's what I'm saying, is if there's not somebody out on the course, managing.
Let's play 1 and 2 and then we'll pair up. Let's play 1 and 2 and then we'll split. Let's play 1 and 2 and then forget cart path only. We'll drive wherever we want, you know.
But if our starters and our marshals are getting reamed out all the time,
That's
even if they're paid, they're not gonna want that job at $12.50.
right.
So, I mean, I think we also have to be able to hold the line pretty strongly on behavior expectations. You know what? You get out of line with our starter or whatever, and you're suspended for a month. You can't make a tea time. You can't play at all. I mean, I don't know about what we do, but we do something that puts a little teeth behind the fact that you can't be a butt to our staff.
The only,
Yeah, there should be zero tolerance for that.
it's
There is a
just
code of
some stuff I
conduct
see.
they're supposed to sign.
What's that?
There is a code of conduct.
That's, yeah.
And I know it's hard, it's hard to do that, but we're in a position where, you know what? If I have to suspend you, I got somebody right behind you who wants your spot.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't hurt me to suspend you.
Right. Yeah. It's,
Not you.
I think the benefit of having paid starters is you have a little more enforcement on,
For sure.
you know, like, hey, I'm not making Saturday, you're volunteer, I'm not gonna say to you.
Well, that cart showing up right in the corner, come down the fairway with a flag on it, you know, kind of keeps people honest too, right? Right. You know, that they're out there.
Mhm.
You gotta teach club throw. Never throw it like this. You always throw it towards where you're going. Everybody's around it. All right, moving on. 2025 tournament schedule and change.
Yeah, not a lot here. We've been going through the schedule for what we've done last year, what we've done this year, and trying to figure out how we can make it better and get more people involved. One thing I would like to do is, well, 2 things. A member guest type tournament, where we have members of the system, not each course, but members of Golf Wichita, have it at 2 different courses, over 2 days. We could rotate that schedule throughout the years. I think people would really enjoy that. We can make it, do it right. And then also I wanted to do this for 3 years and it keeps getting put off, but have a Ryder Cup style deal where we have a team of 12 people. It'd be 6 men's open. Let me do this right. 4 seniors and 2 women on each team. And then, so each team would, however they want to do it each year, the pros would be up to putting a team together. And then we meet for like a Ryder Cup style, with those teams that would compete. So you have a team from Sam, a team from Auburn. I think that would be fun. And I think we could get enough participation to do that. Obviously we want revenue. We want to keep them, but I want to have more fun, utilize the 4 courses instead of each thing being its own little silo, having their own events and be able to cross the courses up a little better in the events. So that's a couple of ideas, but I wanted to, again, we don't have to do this right now, but by next month, I need to get it finalized so I can get everything in print. But any tournament ideas or doesn't have to be so much a competitive deal. It could just be some fun idea, like a Greenskeeper Revenge, that kind of thing. The Shamrock Scramble is a huge tournament for us. We don't want to do anything with it. We've got a few that do really well. We've got some that don't do as well. And then also the non-tournament events, like we want to keep Ladies Day and Junior Day. I want to do something different than the Golfer Appreciation Day this year. and just have fun. Just try to get everyone together and come up with things that you don't see at every course. I mean, it seems like every course are like, we need to do some work. Let's do it wine and dine, or it's like the same ideas at every course. I'd like to do something totally different, and to be creative with this and have fun with it. So, just kind of wanted to toss that out there and see if you guys had any ideas, or if you could maybe think about it and come up with ideas.
Which current tournaments aren't doing so great?
Are not doing so great.
Yeah.
Well, did pretty well this year. I would say like we have the United Way fundraiser that we started last year. It's so. I'm trying to think what didn't fill this year.
Are you still doing that 2-man team rotating thing?
Text him or the text terminal.
No, like the year-long. It was like on Sunday evenings or something.
Oh, that's a city run league, so that's run by Park and Rec. Yeah, we basically rent the course to them, they pay us, and then we get the money for it. We honestly, we have nothing to do with that other than having a scorecard ready. They sign up just like they do for Little League football or something.
It's in school.
Yeah, we did fill up all the tournaments this year.
Maybe.
Some filled up in an hour, and some took right up until the last minute. The Shamrock Scramble, we filled up 2 days immediately.
I believe it.
Yeah, though the couples tournament didn't do good. And mainly because we had no couples from here to play. Literally every couple was from around town except for maybe. It's a little frustrating. So I don't know that we'll do that again. We had 30 teams or something like that. People coming from out of town. You want them to show up and see every cart full of stuff going on. And we have 30 teams. It looks like an empty golf course. So I didn't feel good about that. That's probably the only one that really I did not feel good about.
Was that 2 days?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday we had a band. I mean, people that played loved it.
Was it only 2 days?
Yeah, other than the Shamrock, but it's 2 different places. So, yeah, I don't know if it's
Does each of the municipal courses have? This is probably going to be a really stupid question, but does each of the 4 municipal courses have both a men's club and a women's club?
Tex does not have a ladies club. I think mainly just because that course is so long, but just don't enjoy playing there.
Reason I ask is kind of on your right thought, is that if you had like a tournament where you've got let's just use the men's club as an example, right? You've got 4 men's clubs. You open up a number of slots. Each men's club is responsible for however many of the guys want to participate. And every year it rotates between the 4 courses, and you kind of have an individual in each portion has an individual from each of the clubs. Right? So it's just an idea.
I don't want to limit it just to members of the men's clubs. You know what I mean? Like you've got a lot of players that are really good players that don't play in.
And that's a fair point.
They work.
That's a fair point. I'm just saying, throwing it out there if you're looking for something different
Yeah.
ideas. I mean, you're absolutely right. There's plenty of golfers that, for whatever reason or another, don't participate in the men's clubs. And that's fine.
Can't just fit men's club. It's full.
All right. It is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You go, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Officer and I haven't actually put together an outline and all that, but I think it'd be fun. We've got an opportunity. There's standalone course. So when I was in Missouri, we had 12 courses that were part of it. It was called the SEMO, which was Southeast Missouri. So we had the SEMO Cup. All 12 courses put together a team. One day you meet, you play 36 holes, you do 9 holes of best ball, 100 shot, scramble, and modified Chapman. And it is literally every person at those clubs looks forward to that one day every year more than Christmas. And they work, most of them, like we used to do, I had 7 qualifiers throughout the year. You can bet there was 80 people there for that qualifier, and they didn't sleep the night before because they were nervous trying to play. They loved it. And I'd like to get something like that going, and however that looks, whether that's going through the men's clubs, going through the ladies' clubs, doing it just hours. I think it would be, and you're only trying to get 12 from each course, so it's not like if it started slow, you would still get 12 players. You fill, it's not like you're trying to fill up 150 slots the first year. So,
Well, you can do it as a league too. They can just have once a month or something like that. Auburn plays Tex, Seven plays McDonald the next month. And just it to be a league.
Well, that's what we have to do. We have team play.
yeah,
We have team play that involves all of the courses in the city of Wichita, not just city courses.
I think you could do that. I think if you have one big event each year, it's big. It's like, that's the one you're ready for. If you're doing it every month, it's like, it's a little bit more.
Well,
You can use that to build your team.
it builds to the end of the season event or something.
Right.
Well, those would be things that we look at over the winter.
Yeah, so,
Setting up things.
so we do the golf guide and we've got to get a lot of this out in print. So the reason I put it on here was to just throw that out, let you guys think of it. If you have any ideas pop up again, I just want to get creative and have fun. I want to give people an opportunity. The serious people, I'd like to have a couple of things where they're in a competitive event. The ones that just want to have fun, we have events for them and just have fun with it.
Unless Michael has something he'd like to address it, I'm gonna jump over him. We have to number 9 here with the project up at the trapper.
Well, hold on one second. Darren, let's talk about on Auburn Hills update. I didn't have Darren on here because he's still sitting on the premise, but he's been out here for a week and a half. We've been talking about the ponds here. That's another major thing that we're gonna have to address sooner rather than later, probably. So I'm gonna let you kind of talk through that, if you don't mind.
Well, both irrigation ponds are, I'm sure the person knows, the walls are failing with the rotting, silty, and the pond is silting. And I don't know what the devil is, but you can see that.
Can you come up here just so the microphone can pick you up? Sorry.
Where at?
You can set it over your phone. Wherever you found it.
I can sit.
Yeah, but she doesn't do notes on this and if she can't hear you, it's gonna be hard to
Okay.
do.
Both irrigation ponds out here. You can see dirt coming in through the cracks of all the railroad ties. The railroad ties are rotting. The creek on 7, the big boulders there are starting to roll into the pond or to the creek there. What was the
Number
other?
2.
Number 2,
On the T-box.
that, there's a picture in my office of what that hole used to look like, and we've lost a lot. That whole pond is eroding. And we're gonna have to shore that up. But I feel we gotta shore them. We're losing every pond,
Even number 1, it's coming.
Yeah, even number 1, that was brought up to me yesterday, right? Golf group to do.
Yeah.
But there's some yardage markers that used to be. Now they're right next to the water, stuff like that. I don't know everything yet. Right now I'm just trying to get everything mowed. And I keep, I don't want to complain about rain, but this is a different animal on rain. Saying we've been off guard that afternoon.
Yeah.
So, but it is, especially the irrigation ponds. Because that's where our irrigation. I don't know what the cost will be, but it's
a big project.
Yeah, it's a big project, and the bridges too. Bridges are something that we need to address. I don't know what it's like underneath, but
I'll probably work with, I can't think of the gentleman's name. Anyway, the guy with the city that kind of handles that, drawing a blank on his name. I may see if I can schedule the time for him to meet us out here. Hopefully get some idea of what we're looking at. That's a big project. That's gonna be very expensive, but it's something we're gonna have to address. So get someone that's more of an expert in that area to come out and put eyes on it, recommendations, expected costs, that kind of thing, but heads up, the purpose of it.
Yeah. So what they did at Tex where they put all those big bowl, they stack those in there, stuff like, that seems to be something that
it's already failed.
low maintenance and last.
It's already failed.
What?
It's already failed.
Oh, really?
They were working on down from mine here a couple of weeks ago, the receipt letter, I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to.
thing there, those rocks came from the park right behind.
Right, and that was free.
It was free and they didn't have to haul along, they should, free and all that. So it's awesome. And to do that in the house is incredible. But I don't know why we would do that here. We could, but we'd have to have everything brought in.
Martian can address that because we'll have to have that problem for here.
Yeah, for sure.
I was talking to Grant about that the other day and some of them he didn't know what he was gonna do. Grant's kind of the one that did all of it.
Yeah.
And, some of them, they're gonna have to get a bigger backhoe. Some of them boulders. When they were putting them in, there was no bringing it back out, because once they started going down,
Yeah.
I tried to put it high.
That machine's not big enough.
Right, so,
You can go with it.
yeah, I was glad I wasn't there. But that's the first thing I've noticed out here. I mean, everything else, we'll get there.
Can't figure what the grant engineers involved in to get some type of base to where.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the guy's name, but I'll get him out.
This is a city of Wichita.
Yeah, well, I talked to him, I met him out at Mac to look at what it would take to expand that pond, and he kind of gave me, this is what it would take, this is probably what you're looking at cost wise, and haven't been saying for me here.
It sounds big.
That's a big one. So, and he's kind of, he's only been here a week, but kind of put a priority 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have to break that project up, we start with the worst and the most important, anything else from week 1?
Just trying to get everything mowed. Really, that's my priority. It's just, it's spring, but it rains every other day.
Yeah. I have noticed some of the clover patches and stuff.
Yeah, I sprayed that.
Kind of dying out where, I can see they're turning brown.
No, I was gonna say, that's a noticeable improvement.
I sprayed around the greens, last week. And we can see that it's killed around the greens, so.
Then you guys sprayed the greens, like, I think it was a week ago, but the greens were very green. You can tell you it's sprayed.
Yeah, because, of course, I'm getting older and I can't see where one is dark. And the dye that we put in was different than the dye I had to sim. So I put way too much in. So the front line was dark blue, backside wasn't as green, wasn't as dark. It's for me to be able to see. So when it's dark out, it's difficult to see.
Instead of front line back, we have a blue line.
Yeah, and I was even like, oh my goodness, I've got because the first hole I went to, like, oh man, everyone's gonna notice that. But. And,
It's all good. A couple rains and weekend.
and if I water it in at night, you can still see it, but it just makes it look better.
So time goes by, we'll get GPS on those things, so you don't have to mess with them. Okay, well, if there's nothing further, again,
Thank you.
go down
Oh, thank you.
to Trevor, and see what the status is there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, first night off.
So this is just a graph of our year-on-year engagement. 2024 is the light green and the orange is 2025. So this is our main Facebook page, our Golf Wichita page, where we kind of direct everything to. So that's why the bars are bigger there. As you can see, the year-on-year isn't that good for our individuals. And I left out text. Oh my goodness. The text is included in the totals there, but it's going to be similar with text, maybe 10,000, 15,000 more engagements over last year on the smaller courses, but year over year, we're looking at 1.5, 1.7 million more engagements. So the eyes are there.
What's the difference between the first graph and the last one?
So this is our Golf Wichita page, and then totals would be all encompassing.
So is that telling us that people are going and looking at the Golf Wichita page, but they're not clicking on the
No, that's how many users have seen our content go across their page. And they didn't necessarily have to interact with it. That's just how many eyes have seen our different pieces of content, our advertisements, our videos.
But they're not then following through and going to a course and looking at.
I don't have that on here as far as click-through rate. I don't have I don't have click-through rate on here. It's about industry average. I want to say like 2%. So about 2% of those are actually going to the links that we're trying to sell or classes we're trying to show them, or
That's significant increase.
it's a lot. Mhm. We've kind of switched gear from selling our tournaments and our programming to more entertainment. I don't know. We've been doing a few more videos, trying to get people to see Jesse, see that Michael, meet the new pros, stuff like that. So we're really trying to transition to more of, this is who we are. This is your community to join, and not so much sell.
It's a perfect example. Did you see Dan Locke's pre-out lash?
Yeah.
Everybody. Okay.
That seems staged.
Man, I will say
There was a
that,
couple.
that first tee shot that just went like that he hit, it was not that bad. I watched that. I'm like, that did not do him any favors at all.
You can blame the editor.
Yeah.
But that's all I really got. Just showing you that we have more eyes than ever on our Facebook pages. It's pretty one-to-one comparison with everything else that we do. App downloads are highest that they've ever been. I want to say, I don't have the number written down, but upwards of 35,000, 30,000.
I met with the CEO of Gallus last week, and he said we are their number one client as far as engagement. So properties they have.
It's awesome. It's all of us. Definitely not me, but yeah. But that's all I got. And any other questions? Anything you guys would like to see on the Facebook pages more?
I would really like us, we're losing women like crazy. I mean, everything else is growing. We're losing women. I would really like to brainstorm with you about what we can do about women golfers, because the clubs, the lady clubs are losing like crazy. Our tournaments, we're having trouble filling tournaments. So we're aging out. We're not attracting young women. So I would really like to see us focus and brainstorm a little on that.
Yeah, I feel like there was a large younger crowd Saturday.
Good.
It was a good mix, and a face that I've never seen before, which is good. Now we just got to figure out.
Yeah.
Get on. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we can brainstorm that with it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We definitely figure out something.
I think like a young woman, but I'll do the best.
I don't either, but
No.
we can get you some more eyes. I think the biggest deal is getting the word out there about who you are and what you guys do and what you can provide as far as a community, you know. So, but there's definitely stuff we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
I know you don't want to do the same thing as other clubs, but man, that Paradigm, and we've heard a couple of the other clubs too, couples leagues, man, it's unbelievable.
That's why I was surprised that couples tournament didn't fill here. Because Wilbit's couples stuff. was like-
Yeah, we
Participation.
I think Bill came back. George, like, it may have been two local couples. Everyone else left.
Have to think about that.
Yeah, and then a couple of leagues here. I feel like,
Well, yeah,
I
couples
think-
here, it goes crazy, doesn't it?
yeah.
Couples here. You do couples here. Don't your couples like?
Me and my wife, we didn't run it this year.
But
We
isn't
ran
it
for
typically,
previous 10 years.
isn't it previously, I mean, isn't it typically very well attended?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This is by far the
that's
most.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, in terms of late
Sim would be a good couple league course. Or pushing, need to push that.
ready seminars, group lessons.
Yeah, women are scared to join ladies clubs.
Yes.
That's just the bottom line.
Just invite them in. You
So,
don't
yeah.
have to join the club.
No, I know. So if we can get them in to get them comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I know, my wife, she helps run the women's league here. And they make it more of a social event than a golf event. But once you get them in and get them to start playing golf, then they enjoy that as much too.
Yeah.
But with them, a lot of it's just the social aspect of it is what they kind of accentuate.
I've never met anybody that went out to play golf and they could play really poorly. They want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So again, like we went for group lessons, you get
You stay out there.
Why are you still living here?
Again, okay, we do not have any more, subjects. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you, everybody. Late meeting, but